the effectivity of company executives does not depend as much on IQ as it depends on EQ. Somebody may be extremely intelligent, but may have a very low EQ. Howard Gardner presented the multiple intelligences theory. He said that there is one girl, she's at the bottom of her class when it comes to academics. But her social intelligence is tremendous. She understands the whole web and matrix of relationships that are going on in the class. And there's somebody else. Academically, he's almost a failure. But he's so super excellent in his sports. He's got physical intelligence. The spiritual intelligence is most important. It tells you. This intellect is so important. You see, even in the world, Chanakya Pandit said, Yatha buddhis tatha vaibhav. Your success will depend on the intellect. Now, there is one worldly intellect which you need. All over in your worldly dealings, the intellect is important. There is an advertisement online. Get a laptop for $200, but pay $100 advance and you'll get the laptop after 2 months. And your intellect, if it is not sharp enough, says, yeah, wow, this is a good deal. But if your intellect is little developed, you say, this seems to be like a fraud case. And this company is from Brooklyn. Oh my God, more reason to be suspicious. Because all the fraud companies are from Brooklyn. So, even in the world, you need intellect. But in this journey of self-development, self-unfoldment, the intellect is of paramount importance. So what do we do, Swami? Do we start developing our worldly intellect? No. Slowly, modern science is getting a deeper understanding of intellect. How is that so? See, interest in the intellect started off in the 19th century, when scientists first coined this word intelligence quotient, IQ. It was considered like a single faculty of the brain, like horsepower of an engine. So your intellectual ability is the IQ. And hence tests were created to measure your IQ. And very often the IQ was a part of your selection procedure for jobs, etc. But then, later on, there was this gentleman in the later part of the 20th century who came up with emotional intelligence, EQ. Daniel Goleman, he published a paper in the Harvard Business Review by the same name. After studying 200 corporations, he said that, EQ is different from IQ. Somebody may be extremely intelligent, but may have a very low EQ. What is emotional quotient? Your ability to understand your emotions. Your ability to manage your emotions. And your empathy in understanding others' emotions. So he said, the effectivity of company executives does not depend as much on IQ as it depends on EQ. Then there was this gentleman called Howard Gardner, who presented the multiple intelligences theory. He said that there is one girl, she's at the bottom of her class when it comes to academics. But her social intelligence is tremendous. She understands the whole web and matrix of relationships that are going on in the class. In other words, she has got a thing called social intelligence. And there's somebody else. Academically, he's almost a failure. But he is so super excellent in his sports. He's got physical intelligence. So he came up with the multiple intelligence theory: verbal intelligence, musical intelligence, mathematical intelligence, intrapersonal intelligence, interpersonal intelligence, and so on. So about 6 years ago, Intel had invited me to speak. I chose the topic spiritual intelligence, the SQ chip inside. You see, Intel used to put the sticker, Intel inside. So I chose the topic, the SQ chip inside, spiritual intelligence. So it just explained how actually intelligence develops. Rather than going into 7 kinds of intelligence, it's like this, the development. From birth, in infancy, the first intelligence to develop is physical intelligence. In other words, you learn to control the body, learn to understand the body. It requires intelligence. You see the little child when trying to turn around, the control over the musculoskeletal system has not come automatically. The child has to learn. Again, while learning to stand, she tries and then falls. So she has to learn to control. So physical intelligence is developing. Bodily awareness and bodily control. And then the child by the age of 5 goes into school and is taught all the analytical things. Now the cognitive intelligence develops. Physical intelligence also continues to develop, but the focus through school is cognitive intelligence. Why? It's always about understanding problems and solving them. It's got its verbal aspects, visual aspects, mathematical aspects, but the whole focus in school is the cognitive intelligence. And then when the child enters the adolescence years, now the emotional intelligence starts developing, because there's a whole web of emotions, learning to understand them, control them. So the EQ is now developing, which was less in the children. And then from early adulthood, there's another intellect which needs to develop, but it may not. And that is the SQ, spiritual intelligence. The spiritual intelligence is most important. It tells you who you are. It tells you why you are in this world. It tells you what is your goal in life, what is right, what is wrong, what is ethics. All this comes from your SQ. So Hitler was definitely very intelligent. He got the whole German race worked up. Germans are smart people. As they say in Hindi, unko patti padha di. So Hitler had great intellect, but spiritual intelligence was missing. So spiritual intelligence is the key. Now, what happens when you come for a program like this? Your intellect gets seeded with spiritual wisdom. It helps you enhance your spiritual intelligence. That spiritual intelligence, lack of it, is the cause of all problems. People are competent, they are managers, they are directors, everything. But the lack of spiritual intelligence is bringing their life in shambles and causing a mess. What has happened? See, there was a table with a bottle of whiskey on it, and 3 mice were playing around below. One cat came and knocked the bottle over. So the whiskey bottle smashed on the ground and the alcohol spread on the floor. The mice had a drink and became tipsy. One mouse said, "Main Raja." I am the king. The second mouse said, Main Vishwa Vijayata. I am the emperor of the world. The third mouse said, you all become what you want to become. I am going to eat this cat for my snack. All three of them lost their head. So, our Vedas say that what has happened is, because we have turned our backs to God. Let's say this is God, this is the soul. The soul's consciousness is like this. So the material energy Maya has overcome us and engulfed us in darkness. The spiritual intelligence is lost.
Celebrate the biggest Diwali festival, DFW Diwali Mela 2023. One combined event of the year for the greater DFW community. Enjoy Ram Leela, Ravan Dahan, Victory Parade, fireworks, cultural performances, kids carnival, laser show and more. Shopping expo, food booths and live concert by Bollywood singers, including the one and only Amit Mishra, Jyotika Tangri, Yazin Nizam, along with the High Octaves Band, and a special Diwali message by Swami Mukundananda. Save the date, Saturday, November 4th from 5 p.m. onwards at the Cotton Bowl Stadium. For tickets